Why do you think carrying a knife is so normalised in some communities?
Because London, as a capital city, is genuinely a war zone.
I remember the first time we met and we sat down and you had your top button done up really tight and you looked very smart, but you just wouldn't stop talking.
That's hilarious. Imagine you met me when I was 12. Every time I think about our relationship as like mentor to mentee, it's like, who would have thought that moment would grow into this? Do you get what I mean? Like, as in grow into this, it's like, oh my days, like what on earth has gone on?
So I was working for the Access Project at your school to mentor or support young people through the process of applying to university. Where were you at in your life at that time?
I was just a little yeet, innit? Like, yeets do silly things, get themselves in trouble. Life is getting a bit serious, let me fix up, look sharp.
You've got kids my age, younger than me, older than me, taking a knife from their kitchens and their homes and then walking out onto the streets like they're putting in their shoes. They might think something may happen to me today, and I'm going to make sure I'm carrying something with me to defend myself if it comes to that. Some parents are thinking, what if my child doesn't come back home to me today?
Why do you think carrying a knife is so normalised in some communities?
Because London, as a capital city, is genuinely a war zone. The reality of the world that we live in may be different to the reality of the world you live in. Take a normal London park, for example, yeah? Someone that's not used to them kind of social issues or seeing them, they might just think, oh yeah, I'm chilling in this park. Me, however, I'm thinking, oh, I can chill in this park, but I might see someone I don't like and they might try and murder me off. Completely different.
This is a big theme in Cut Short, is that throughout my own journey in the book is realising that I'm occupying these spaces in London and I'm experiencing the city in a completely different dimension to a lot of the young people I'm working with.
I get to the park, I'm seeing a helicopter parked off somewhere. I'm seeing blue lights everywhere. It didn't make any sense. It's a genuine state of confusion and shock. It's just hard to comprehend.
When you're 15, you lose your brother. What shifts?
What shifted was the resilience against the conventional way of doing things. Because of the fact that extreme violence has been normalised, it's very, very easy knowing what happened and the way it happened and how unfair everything was. It'd be very, very easy to like do something drastic, as we would say.
Yeah, and that's how these spirals of violence take place in local areas, right? Because you have an incident that then leads to another incident, that leads to another incident, and it's back and forth, and it can get really out of control. What's the difference between you deciding not to take revenge in that situation and someone that does take revenge?
The way I see it is revenge is more of a pride thing. They're probably thinking I'm gonna look moist, innit? As in, a kid you not here, they're gonna be thinking I'm going to look moist if I don't do anything. But then what's gonna make you look moist? If you then take it and then make it something positive, how on earth can you be seen as moist? You've basically taken something that would have wrecked your brain, like properly flipped your brain over like an egg in a flipping frying pan, yeah, and you've somehow turned it into breakfast. Do you know where I'm coming from? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're having a laugh, like.
This then goes all the way back to having a space, I think as a young man especially, where you're able to just feel those things in conversation and be vulnerable.
It's just that guidance, isn't it? Like, especially growing up on the London streets where everything is so against you, almost.
Dimitri said goodbye to his friends at the bus stop. They'd been hanging out after school. He crossed the New Kent Road and passed where Haygate Estate used to be. There was nothing standing of it now. Cranes and builders wearing hard hats populated the empty space. Chain restaurants, shops and bars lined the virtual pedestrianised street. This was not the Elephant and Castle Dimitri knew. He'd learnt a new word in his geography A-level lessons: gentrification.
is the destruction of a community for profit. A long-standing community is just taken apart and rebuilt so it can make more money while ignoring the community that was there before.
What do you think are the links between gentrification and youth violence in London?
Exposure to wealth and lack of power. They take away my local corner shop and put like Pret there. We don't have money to be going Pret every morning, so you're raising the cost of my living. Relative deprivation, yeah, is like, in my eyes, a main factor in why people originally go on road, then they just get sucked in because there's violence on road as well, innit?
So you think that increasing inequality in gentrifying areas,
It makes it way worse.
almost all people will not know how that feels or won't even know it's existing or happening. How does it feel to be a young man growing up seeing that change happen?
The geographical changes are inconvenience, but you get used to it. The changes in people is more noticeable.
Dimitri crossed Walworth Road. A man was walking about 10 metres in front towards Dimitri's block. White, in his 30s, with stubble and a mop of hair. He placed his key fob onto the door to enter it. He let it swing slowly shut behind him. He was looking back at Dimitri through the glass. Dimitri felt that the man should have been polite enough to keep the door open for him. This man was new, Dimitri wasn't. He'd lived here his whole life, yet the man was looking at him with a mix of fear, disgust and confusion.
They're called microaggressions, innit? But it stems from ignorance. And the new people that come, they don't want to educate themselves about what was here before. I'm here now, this is mine, my house costs more than yours. I get the bigger say.
I think it is sadly a bit inevitable that a lot of changes are happening in London. Do you think there's a way of making it more constructive?
Yeah. One, get the communities involved properly and not just send them letters saying, we're going to do this. As for the people moving in, get to know your community. Don't form your little bubbles and be weird to us. We're human beings, we're nice people. Say hi, wave, hold the door open.
So I remember one of the first times we met, you'd written lyrics in the back of your exercise book at school, and you were really excited to show me.
Reflection time, and it's time to reflect on life.
Why is lyric writing valuable to you?
It's a form of therapy. Getting my thoughts down. A lot happens in my brain at the same time, innit? So it's like, just that way of kind of channeling all those thoughts. If teachers utilise music in a way where they can use it to kind of bridge the gap between them and the children, it made much more sense. Like, it make a lot of sense.
So 12 years old Jamar is writing lyrics to the back of his exercise book. What's the situation with music now?
I can't really work with toddler T.
Are you ready?
If you're talking flows, then I flow like river. Talking dreams, then I'm dreaming bigger. And my team stay real, man, it can't get realer. I got business plans, can't wait till they tell why and how I'm really that guy. So I can never cap up in my rhymes. Wait until they're waiting, then learn to see a star in the making. Haters can talk, but like the book that I co-wrote, my success could never get cut short.
I don't feel like people are innately bad. I feel like they act as a result of the situations they are in. And to understand the situations people are in, you have to understand society. That's why I need to study sociology.
So you said this quote when you were 17, I think, and you're now 21, a big man.
Yeah, man.
And you are studying criminology, a type of sociology at university. Why do you think education is important?
Knowledge is power. And power allows you to exert your influence over things. And it's good for young people to be able to influence the world they live in. And it helps me to be much more critical. I think before I may have taken things a bit at face value.
There's always hope to do better for other people. Really and truly, people don't recognise the power of conversation. I'm telling you, having a mentor was a life changer to me. I may not even be here now, so please do speak to the young people around you. Trust me, you can make a difference.
I'd never really thought about it like that before you said it, and now you've said it, it's helped me understand what is effective about my youth work. So if you have powerful conversation with a young person, you can change their life.
100%, 100%.
How does it feel? The book.
It feels very strange to hold it in my hands. I hope that it will inspire young people that don't feel like their voice is represented by platforming your voice and Jamal's voice, etc. For adults, I'd like to think that it's gonna inspire more people to take a leap of faith and make an effort to try and make change to reduce serious youth violence in London and across the country.